Hello everyone, my name is Sumit. Welcome to my channel SumitTube. In this tutorial series, we will learn how to design beautiful apps using Matlab app design. We will start with the basics like how to drag and drop components, edit their properties and write callback functions. We will be designing all of our apps from scratch and explaining the process step by step, making it very easy to understand the design flow. First, we will learn about different components by creating some simple apps. Then we will design professional apps that include different components, private and public properties and functions. We will also cover some complex examples such as designing multi-window apps. After designing apps, we will learn how to make standalone desktop applications and share them with other users. They can install and run the app like any other app without needing to have Matlab installed on their computers. I'll create a YouTube playlist including all the Matlab app designer videos. I recommend watching the videos in order so you don't miss anything. The Matlab version I am using is 2023B, which is the latest version at the time of making this video. If you are using a different version, you may notice some differences, but the core functionality remains the same. So it does not matter which Matlab version you are using. Okay, so let's get started. In today's lesson, we are going to learn about checkbox. We have a checkbox here and a text edit field here. When this checkbox is checked, we are going to show checked inside this edit field. Now, if we uncheck it, we are going to show not checked in the edit field. Now, if we check it again, it is going to show checked inside this text edit field. So let's see how we can design this app. In a previous tutorial video, we have learned about edit field in details. So please watch this video if you haven't done so already. I will attach the video link in the I button. Okay, let's drag this checkbox here. Now there is a problem with this checkbox. If you can see, if we want to resize it, the size of the box does not increase. I think Matlab should fix this. Anyway, let's go through its property first. The first property we are going to see is this value property. This is the most important property. It is going to indicate whether this checkbox is checked or unchecked. Now this default property is unchecked as you can see here. Now we can change it. If we check this, now this default property would be checked. Okay, the second property is the text. Yes, this is the checkbox. It is written here. Now we can change the text here, or alternatively we can double click here and change the name. Anyway, I'm not going to do that. This default name is fine for me. Okay, one more component we need is this text edit field. Okay, let's delete this associated label. Make this one bigger. Okay, first you won't see any text here because this default text is empty. Now remember, when this checkbox is checked, we want to see the checked here. So we should change this default property here. To do this, one way is to go this value property and write checked here, or alternatively what we can do, we can just double click here and write checked here. Okay, now align this in middle and change the font size to 24 so you can see easily. Let's also increase the font size of this one. Okay, now let's run this one. Now we can see the checkbox is checked and the value is indicated here. Now if we uncheck this, nothing is going to happen because we haven't write any code. For this, we have to write the callback function. Now the callback function will be associated with this checkbox because that's where user is going to interact. And this is just for showing these states. User is not going to interact with this one. So what we can do, as the user is not going to interact here, we can go through this interactivity and change the editable property. If we uncheck this, user cannot user cannot interact with this anymore. Let's run this program. Now if you see, you can click on it, but you cannot change it anymore. Okay, that's fine. Okay, so time to write callback function. For this, first select this checkbox and go to this callback tabs. There is a value change function here. That means if the value property of this checkbox changes, this function will be executed. Click on this drop down menu and it is showing add value change function callback. Okay, let's do it. Okay, now we are inside this value change function. In first line of comment, you can see it is saying that this function is a value change function and checkbox is the name of our component. And the name of the function name is checkbox value changed. Now this is the default name Matlab gives us. If you want, you can change that. To change the name of the function, go to this callbacks and double click on it. And then you can change this name. Anyway, I am not going to do that. This default name is fine for me. Okay, time to write this function. But before writing any function, let's understand some basics. Now the checkbox has a property called value. To access this, we have to use this app.checkbox.value notation. When the checkbox is unchecked, this value would be 0. When it is checked, this value would be 1. We are going to add a text edit field to indicate these two states. Now, in our app, we have two components. One is checkbox and another one is text edit field. The callback function will be associated with this checkbox. Now, inside this callback function, first we are going to read checkbox value into some variable value. Now, if the value is 0, we are going to set edit field value to not checked. Else, that means when value is 1, we are going to set edit field value to checked. Okay, we have completed writing our callback function. Now, one thing I want to mention here, the name of my components are listed here. The checkbox name is checkbox and the edit field name is edit field. That's why I am using this name checkbox and edit field. If you have given your checkbox or edit field name a different name, you have to use that specific name. This point is very important, so please remember that. Okay, time to run this function. Okay, let's do that. Okay, now default state is checkbox is checked and we are showing checked inside this text edit field. Now if we uncheck this, it is showing not checked. Now if we check it again, it would show checked here. So our app is working perfectly. That's all from today's video. Hope you have learned something new today. Let me know your thoughts about this tutorial series. Add your comments below this video. As usual, thank you for being here. Thank you for watching and I am going to catch you in the next video.